What is going on, guys? Welcome to the channel. Today we're gonna be installing my Y pipe that just came in the mail for my 2006 Nissan 350Z. This thing is dirty, full of bugs. If I get time, I'm gonna clean up those headlights too. But I'm way too excited to get this thing in there. I've been waiting for it for some time now. I wasn't about to worry about washing the car. We'll go enjoy a car wash after it's installed. So let's get a sound clip of what this thing sounds like, because the exhaust is going to be completely done after this, minus headers, which will happen at some point, but that's quite a ways out, I think. So this is going to be the final setup for exhaust for the time being, until finances really kick in and I can afford some expensive stuff. But I don't know. It's tough to say if I'm actually going to change these parts out, because I'm going to see what the numbers look like when I can eventually get it on a dyno. Regardless, it sounds good. So I'm looking forward to seeing what this Y pipe does for this exhaust setup. So here's a sound clip. Now I am working by myself today. Nico's working, so it's just us. Unless he miraculously makes an appearance, which he is known for. But let's get this Y pipe unboxed, get the old Y pipe out of the car. Now, looks like we got some fresh gaskets, 3 of them, which is good. I think this is called a V-band clamp. Don't quote me on that, I'm not an expert. But I think that's what it's called, because these two mate together like this. And when that's perfectly lined up, it's not lined up right now because it's on the bench. These make a really good seal, apparently. So the reason I there's 2 options. You can get the Y pipe, and I went with the resonated one, but what you can get is, instead of the resonator, you can get a straight through piece. I went with the resonator because I wanted to avoid rasp at all costs. I know that this could have a slight implication on horsepower. That's okay. I'm not chasing decimal points or small horsepower numbers. Rasp was more important to me. So I have the non-resonated test pipes. This is the piece of junk we're replacing. And then I have a resonator here, plus my muffler. I'm gonna polish or try to clean up as much of this as I can. But I wanted to avoid as much rasp as possible. So that's what I decided to go with that. The beauty of it is a person can always order the straight through piece, and it would be a super easy change. 2 bolts, V-band, and you can put the straight through on. So even if you wanted to have this on for street use and put the straight through one on for track use, that's an option for you. I'm probably gonna find myself ordering the straight through piece. Things are just a little bit tight for me, actually very tight financially, because I just bought a house, but I'm gonna get that unbolted. I'm not gonna wear the head mount this time. It was too much of a struggle and it didn't make for any good footage. So I'll just clip in what I can of me taking it out. I will give you a brief explanation of how to get it out of the car though. Here we go. You get your car on your hoist or jacked up on your driveway, on jack stands, or on the street, wherever. Get your car hoisted up. You got 2 nuts and bolts right there. I can't remember exactly what size they are, but I'm sure you guys have a socket set. So, and then you've got 2 bolts on each side, and then you literally just drop this thing down and put this in. This exhaust needs a really good clean. Holy cow. but she gets driven lots. Got the stock Y pipe out and the new Y pipe on the bench here. I'll show you the comparison. So it's kind of hard to tell, but you can see here that this, if the camera will focus properly, you can see that there's a fairly large outer black ring there compared to where the size of the catback that's in here meets up to the stock Y pipe. This is fairly big. So we were losing quite a bit of power here. I say quite a bit, but when you're talking NA bolt-ons, little bits go a long ways. So you can see the size difference. Here's a comparison. It's kind of hard to tell because that ring is so black in there, but there you go. I'm gonna get that bolted up in the car. All right, new one's all bolted in. Check it out. Let's lower this sucker down, see how she sounds. I'm genuinely excited. It's running a little bit rich. That's okay though. Rich is safe. I'll be tuned here right away. Well, technically I'm already tuned, but retune is soon. Well, that was pretty easy. Nuts and bolts. The only tip that I could give you guys would be the Y pipe section. There's a driver and passenger side. They sit at different heights. Just make sure, well, you can only get it in there one way. So that would just be a heads up. Let's get some driving clips. I am back at the house. It is the next day. Unfortunately, I ran into some complications with the exhaust. From what myself and the boys dictated, because they showed up, there's a rattle from the exhaust and it has nothing to do with fitment. We've dictated that it is more than likely a loose flex pipe, and it's coming from inside the exhaust, so there's nothing that I can do myself unless I want to cut it open. Now what I'm thinking I'm going to do is I'm going to give Circuit Works a chance to sort this out and do right and send me a new piece or warranty this in some way, shape, or form. And if that doesn't end up working out, I'm going to fix it myself, in the sense of I'm going to bring it to a shop and have them properly take it apart, cut it apart, and replace what needs to be done. I am capable of doing those things, but you know, with certain things I will do myself, but this is a car that I, you know, when it comes to exhaust, I'd rather have a professional do it. So I tucked the bumper. Let's check it out. All right, I'll show you the exhaust rattle I'm talking about. I have no idea how it's going to sound on camera, but we'll see if it picks it. I know it's going to pick it up, but I don't know if it'll do it justice of how annoying it really is. It's between 2,000 and 3,000 RPM. Yeah, it's just it's rattling around. So, gonna do what I can with it. So unfortunately, it is a consistent rattle. So yeah, it's kind of rank. There is a little bit extra rattle that's coming from the fitment because it's riding on the cross brace, as well as one of the test pipe brackets. One sits higher than the other, the passenger side. It's kind of sitting up against the floorboard. So I'm gonna play with the fitment. I'm not upset with Circuit Works on that. I'm just a little bit sus about the fact that there's a loose rattle inside of my exhaust. That's, you know, I understand mistakes are made though. I'm gonna give them their chance to do right by their name and company, because so far I've been really happy with their results. So we're gonna reach out, see what happens. But now we are gonna go get some proper sound clips. This will be the first time you guys are actually seeing this car driving on the road. So I'm gonna launch it and I'm gonna haul on it, and then I'm gonna do a flyby. But first, I guess I might as well do some in-car footage. So let's go let her eat. VDC off. Ah, reach, car's coming. All right, let's go. It sounds good. I'm happy with it. I can still hear that rattle inside the flex pipe and the Y pipe there a little bit, but whatever. It performs well. That's always been my main goal with things, is having it perform well. That's what matters the most to me. So I'll get the kinks worked out with the exhaust. I'm not going to worry about it too much. And next clip, which will be a launch. And so other than a minor hiccup with the Y pipe install, the exhaust is done until I can put headers on it probably next year. So in other big news, I am having the car tuned in the next few days here. I have a tuning slot booked with Admin Tuning. So I'm really looking forward to that. I'm excited. The car already has an UpRev tuning license on it, so it's technically getting a retune, but I'm also adding the ARC features. So it's gonna give me flat foot shifting, launch control, and a few other pajazz things. But I'm really happy with how this car is turning out. I enjoy it so much. Makes me sad to think that it sat for so long, but you know, I'm glad that I'm enjoying it now. Nonetheless, I'm having fun. So remember guys, oh, wait a minute, piece of news here. I'm going on a cross Western Canada drag racing series with this car called Miles of Mayhem, and it's happening within less than a month. So sky's the limit. Watch the next episode, I guess. I don't know how I forgot that. We're getting tuned, baby. Woo!